Radio Extra. Today we are doing a live session and we are going to have a very sensitive, in fact, I have to highlight that very sensitive conversation about a raging issue that has been ongoing in Ghana for the past 2 weeks or so. I was recently in Ghana. I never um, sensed anything like a religious um, um, temperature going high because Ghana has always been a country that has seen a very peaceful coexistence society between Christians and Muslims. But recently, there has been some burning issues about some statement that has been made from both sides of the divide. The Ghana police coming in at some point, we saw, or if you haven't seen, we've seen videos on social media where a pastor was arrested by the Ghana Police Service for some supposed or alleged comment that he passed about Islam. And we also saw an Islamic scholar or a teacher also being arrested about some sort of inflammable comment that he passed on the social media about what should be done to some people when they pass certain comments about the Islamic religion. Today, we are looking at nation building beyond religious beliefs, right? Building beyond religious beliefs. And that is the subject or the main topic of the conversation. If you are joining us live, this is Jafric Radio Studios coming to you live from Japan. We are in both Osaka and Tokyo, Saitama as well. And today I have two distinguished personalities from both sides of the divide. And they are going to help with the discussion today. But before we go on, very soon we are going to come your way with one interesting program that we call Learning from Japan. So watch out on this platform. There's a new program that we are bringing your way called Learning from Japan. We are going to make sure that we interact with Ghanaians and other African nationals who have been living and working in Japan for all these years, and they are going to share their experience, the extraordinary things that they see Japan doing that they think Africa or Africans can copy in terms of work ethics, in terms of a number of things, positive things that are happening in Japan here that Africa should learn from. We will come your way with that. Today, I have two distinguished personalities that who are going to help me with the discussion. And my first guest on the panel is Pastor Dr. William Kwabena. He's a very known face to be. That conversation, we will have it later after the program. He's also a brain specialist. Recently, when I was in Ghana, let me tell you something interesting. I saw a flyer of Dr. William Owusu with that he was going to do an interview with one very known face in the sports industry in Niamey or the Blue region, Alaji Alasayaya. I saw the flyer and I quickly picked up my phone and called a man that he also doctor also knows very well, Master P. Then I called Master P and said, Master P, Bravoli is now a doctor and also a pastor as well. Then he gave me the rundown. And today when my boss spoke, said that we were going to speak to a pastor and a doctor, I was guessing until we turned on the camera. Then I saw that, oh, this is the boss for Wicom. So you have coined a name for his ministry. If he hasn't got one, you pay for it, you pay royalties for it. I've coined for it a name for his ministry, Wicom. That's Dr. William Kwabena Owusu Outreach Ministry. He's the overseer. I've coined a name for him, Wicom. He is the first on the panel today. Dr. Pastor William Kwabena Owusu, thank you very much for joining us live on Jafric Radio Studios, Jafric Radio Japan, and Jafric Radio Extra, live here in Japan.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure having such a wonderful program and yourself. It's been a while. I mean, when I joined, I said, "Oh, wow!" In Ghana, we will say "fie ni fie." I'm already in the house, and happy to also see my co-panelists, which I know by the grace of God we'll be having a wonderful discussion today.
My next guest is the most popular face, the most popular African face in Japan. In fact, if let me give you a little bit of rundown about my guest before I bring him into the conversation. He happens to be the first black taxi driver in Japan. It is not common for. It was the time he did. It was unprecedented. He became a national icon, a national figure in Japan that everybody all the television stations, media houses, everybody was talking about here in Japan. Because for the first time in the history books in Japan, a black man had been licensed by the Japanese system to drive taxi in Japan. And I mean, he has used this his fame and his status to touch many lives positively in Japan, and he keeps on touching lives and changing the narratives here in Japan for Africans and Black people living in Japan. My next guest on the panel is Alhaji, Chief Imam, very soon Chief Imam in Japan, Alhaji Hassan. Alhaji Hassan, thank you very much. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Atiku. Thank you so much. We always meet on this platform, and I'm so happy also to meet you and then my other panelists too. As you give his story, I'm also well to hear that story as you guys has met again today. So I pray that today we'll have this conversation peacefully, and then we'll have our viewers also will be happy to hear the sensible of our nation, what is going on, and then we can discuss it very well. Thank you so much again. Yes.
Okay, so that is the voice of my two distinguished personalities. And then let me switch to two more. And then Sir mpanyinfo mmienu nipa titiri mmienu wei na ɛba abɛboa ma yɛ holding the discussion on the seemingly religious tension that is brewing in Ghana. But fortunately, the inter-religious committee in Ghana have stepped in. Both sides of the leadership from the Islamic side and then the Christian side, they step in. The issue has been resolved amicably. But the purpose of the discussion today, as I've told you earlier, is looking at building Ghana beyond religious beliefs or building Africa beyond religious beliefs. And I'm going to begin with the general overseer, the founder of WICOM. WICOM, I'm the one who have coined the name for him today. And so Pastor Williams will pay royalties after the program. We'll have a separate discussion. I'm going to begin with him. Um, we've had a number of observers in Ghana and Africa say that the telltales of what we saw on social media about the outburst that came from the Islamic scholar or a teacher who made those comments, the reaction from the Christian pastor who reacted on social media, the subsequent arrest, and the slap that we also on social media coming in from the Muslim side. There are watchers who say that this is how religious tensions began in Nigeria. This is how religious tensions began in Niger. This is how it began in Chad and Burkina Faso. And by some ways and means, we are beginning to experience them in Ghana. How do you react to that? What do you think has gone wrong in the what we seemingly know to be the peaceful coexistence society that we've always seen between Christians and Muslims in Ghana? What do you think has gone wrong? Or do you think this was just something remote that happened? It's not a major issue that we should tackle as a nation. Doc, the floor is for you.
Yes, thank you. Once again, let me say, extend my special greetings to our viewers and listeners. And I must say, Ghana is a very peaceful country. And if you look at our culture and everything, number one, we prefer to have everything in a peaceful manner. So let me put the religious aspect aside first. You could see that we were born and bred and breed in the way that we must always fight for peace. Now, again, coming back, let me use myself as an example. My mom once told me that when I was born in Kumasi, that it
Mm,
was a certain woman who is called Ima Lady.
mm,
She happens to be the great grandmother of Dasawase MP Muntaka,
mm. Muntaka.
and yes, and she was actually taking care of her. Sometimes my mom has to go to town and other things. So you could see even me becoming a pastor, where I went through and what I went through before becoming uh, who I am today. So it tells us that, irrespective of our religious background, number one, the country always seeks for peace. Then, number two, when you look at the religious aspect in Ghana here, now, for instance, when the late President John Evans Atamels, you remember
Mm.
when the former the late Nigerian President Yaradua, when he passed on,
Yaradua.
you
Yes.
remember President Mills went to Nigeria with the
Mm.
chief imam. And it's only in Ghana here that you see a mosque uh, closer to a church, and there has never been confusion from day one to date. Recently, the chief imam attended the program, and Pamabaka quickly ran to him and said, "Ah, but you are going without telling me you are going. Let me give you a hug."
Mm.
You remember the chief imam even attended church some time ago for a program, about
Yeah.
two consecutively. And the other world started criticizing him. What kind of? But you could see that, number one, the umbrella of our culture is peace.
Mm.
So irrespective of how things are generated, we will always go for peace first. So you realize that from the pastor side and the imam side, both of them had it wrong. And I believe that they are upcoming, and they need to go through a certain process, because there is no way you see in Ghana here a Christian body fighting a Muslim body. No, we are one, irrespective of whatever our political affiliation might be. We are still one, and it is very, very important that our upcoming youth who are in
Mm.
line to be a pastor, others who are also in line to be imam, will be very, very careful. You realize that when the two of them did, I had Muslim colleagues who said, what the guy did, even if a colleague pastor has offended, you as a imam, you should know better. You should have not slapped the guy, because he doesn't know and he needs to be taught a lesson. So I believe the two of them had it wrong. But I'll just figure out this pastor's comment. And I must say, it wasn't an encouraging words at all. Because the Bible tells us that blessed are the peacemakers. And I
Mhm.
always tell colleagues that, look, if you want to see that Muslims are peaceful, then just look at a country called Ghana. If there is any program we don't separate, equally, you see a Ghanaian celebrating the Muslim fest. We see Muslims also celebrating our Christmas and Easter. You realize that we are always one. But I think the
Mm.
social media thing and the new generation needs to go back to our culture and realize that the figure here is peace. That is what we were trained with. And you can just imagine, sometimes when there is fights at home, you get an elderly person, he will tell you, look, let's settle this. This is not necessary. And before you realize, everything is down. Even among Muslim brethren, you realize that when there is any confusion anywhere, and a senior person gets up and say, look, all of you calm down, before you realize.
Mm.
So, number one, our tradition here fights for peace, and that is what we've been trained with. It's only religion that wants to create certain differences, but I believe even all the religious body, Islam and Christians, talks about peace. And others might say, look, Muslims might be valid. No, their peace. If you want to see the manifestations of real Muslims, pick a country called Ghana, and you will realize that, look, when we talk of peace in Islam, they are the one demonstrating it. And Ghana, for a while now, we've been enjoying getting a vice president as Muslim, and we are always one. We are always one. And I think what we have to look beyond is this current generation, the comment they pass, and other things. But I believe as time goes on, we'll be talking more. We'll delve into some of the comments, and what we have to do and look beyond this religious belief and the nation building?
Of course, that is the opening remarks or opening comment from Pastor Dr. William Kwabena Owusu, who is the founder and overseer for WICOM. That is the William Kwabena Owusu Outreach Ministries operating in Ghana. I'll bring on my next guest on the panel, Alaji Hassan. Producer, can you please raise Alaji Hassan back on the screen for me? I have to engage him at this point. Alaji, can you hear me? Hello, Alaji. Okay, it seems that we are trying to raise Alaji Hassan back on the line for us to resume the conversation. But don't forget that this platform is Jafric Radio Japan. We're operating live from Osaka in Tokyo here in Japan. For more news and updates, kindly visit our website for www.jafricradio.com for more news or content that is African centered or related to foreigners here in Japan for the latest updates in terms of news. You can contact us. You can contact us on WhatsApp at +8.
Hello, Baba.
Hello.
Pacho, good evening.
Oh, fine evening.
Pacho, Bia Boko.
Oh, Bibia Nyamina Dom Yegudo.
Yeah, the Yankupa say. And they the Yamias say a shower war, African home touch her.
Okay.
Now, then I do ba.
What taste na? Well, let me taste it in your baby. Did I? And say, Ja. What's the Ohia small? Better than a ronco.
Say, Adriana, Atuju Wabe. Native Baba, then I would DNA.
And the Emutu.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Emutu and Katsankwan.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Osimi clean.
Clean.
Clean. No two ways.
No two ways.
Yeah.
Okay, but what then I will catch a new animal Ghana for Africans, any Obibia or Japan.
Okay, anyone here in Japan who wants to have a real feeling of a home food, the person should try this shop.
Okay.
Because anything you touch here is like gold.
Okay.
The food is clean, everything is clean, and the atmosphere is home atmosphere. So this is a place where you never feel aligned or something. You're always in a family.
Yo, yeah, the papas be bring your can you say Traweni ebeshe hanom African home touch ewo Rupongi ha adwumadie no ekoso kwese de twato obusum bia mu ye amutuo special ezanze amutuo special nte amutuo aye twagu mu wa ha no obedi bi dakura obeba. But apart from Sundays, no African home touch operate from Monday to Saturday. Omono Ghana any bibi memu aduane ahodo bia. Nti ye besre ye nyina yemra na yemra medidi na empanyimfo ye se yediban ho ebue adwene mu. Bedi aduane pa na wadwe mu mie na fatena kroyi mu aha na adwumadi nyina nkoso. Nti ye besre mu nyina mumra waache wa ha emutuo fufuo gobe jollof wom ampesie wo ho bibi.
Okay, so we are back on. That was the African Home Touch restaurant ad that we had. If every Sunday, every last Sunday of every month, the last Sunday of every month, please make sure that if you are living in Japan, you are in Tokyo, Saitama, Tokiji, you are within those environments, Nagoya. If you are in Osaka and you happen to travel to Tokyo for something brief and it happens to be the last Sunday of every month, please make sure that you pass through African Home Touch restaurant for this amazing delicacies. In fact, if you miss Ghana food. And we are resuming the conversation, but also don't forget that we are proudly sponsored by Mama Efe Salon. Mama Efe Salon also operating in Saitama as well as Bayside Modeling Agency. Bayside Modeling Agency are also our proud sponsors alongside Mama Amazing Grace Enterprise. If you want to do all your African grocery shopping, make sure that you do that at the the restaurant of Mama Amazing Grace Enterprise. She also does some really delicious food. So make sure that you contact her out for that. I'm going to go to Alaji Hassan. Alaji, thank you very much for
Yes,
coming
sir.
back to us. And now, I'm going to ask you. I hope you listen to the submission of Pastor Dr. William Kwabno Owusu on his extensive or initial submission. I'm coming to you. When I grew up in Sunyani Zongo, that's where I grew up. I remember, I'm not going to talk about the celibate because the celibate is almost common for almost every Christian because when there's Salah, they share meat and all that. But my experience is totally different. I grew up in Sunyani Zongo. I remember every Friday, and the mosque was just behind our house. Nobody was a Muslim in the house. All of us were Christians. But the mosque was just right behind our house. And every Friday in the morning around 9 a.m. or so, especially on our vacation, then we see the Muslim women in the area. They will prepare what we call masa. Now, masa, I don't know whether it's still in Ghana. The last time I went to Ghana, I struggled to get something, I didn't get something to eat. They'll prepare masa. They'll sprinkle sugar
Yeah.
on it. Then they'll come and stand outside and they'll be shouting, yada, 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 yada. Then all the kids, whether we're a Muslim or a Christian, they just go and collect and eat. They are given. Like our mothers are Christian. My mother used to go to Pentecost and later where I switched to a different church. She never had any issue with it. No Christian had any issue about that. Christians from time immemorial have always coexisted peacefully with Muslims. Alaji Hassan, why is it that now we are hearing that anybody who speaks against Muhammad, we should go and beat the person and kill the person and all this? Why are we hearing this? You don't want to live in peaceful coexistence with your other people anymore? Why are we hearing this from Muslim brothers? Some of them, not all of them.
Thank you so much, Mr. Teku. And thank you to my friend also who make a very good submission. You know, the world has become something which we call social media regime. That is why
Mm,
these issues of hearing certain things that doesn't make sense is even easier to broadcast at anywhere. Someone would just take a camera, just put on him. Even let's put that prophet issue aside.
mm,
Our presidents and our ministers, our MPs, who have been even insulted recently, we all heard what went on in Ghana. Even
mm,
humans like us, when they've been insulted, what happened to those insulted them? Some were even arrested. And it doesn't make sense for because of someone have insulted a president, someone will say they
mm,
should kill that person. Even that one,
mm,
people talk about it that the arresting wasn't good.
mm,
Upon all this, I know before you start this program, you will mention Nigeria. When you come to Sharia law, Nigeria is very serious on it. When you go to Niger
mm,
and other Muslim countries, you know, religious fighting has begun some years back. Those time there wasn't this social media issue that we have it now, but yet it was really controlled and people are spreading the issue of the religious prophets and then the other uh, like who help this our world become as we all visualizing it now. If I may say,
mm,
like in Islam, the way you just said earlier on, there's no way in Quran that says you can kill someone. Islam, we the practicing Islam people, we always practicing the peaceful way, how you met
mm,
someone that you always show love to the person. It's not a violence religion. So
mm,
if I heard like somebody says somebody do something due to that what he said he has to be killed. No, it's a lie. Let me go in
mm,
for this insult that was mentioned as what my fellow people are hearing concerning the imam or the Islamic scholar who uses the word killing. Not only the Islamic way, Islamic side. When you have a love to your father or your relative, a love, sometimes it takes you to other side of the world. Like you love the person so much, you can even die because of the person. You understand me? We the Muslims now, we are, you can hear we have some a name called Sheikh. You can hear in the community, you are even following your Sheikh, your Imam. People follows them sometimes due to love. They even use some terms of religious way which is not good. Even those people are not even to use the word to kill them. But the prophet issue that we heard, another Christianity guy who mentioned a violence words to it, and then the Imam said he must be killed. Yet there are some hadiths. When you say there are some book in Islamic where that is referred to as when someone says something bad against the prophet. Hey, if you are strong and you can, punish that person, but it's not to punish the person to death because you cannot create a human. But my
Okay.
conversation now is, yeah, we always want to learn how the peaceful community that we live. For instance, in Ghana, we all know when you walk like 100 kilometers, even 50 kilometers, you will see a church. The same thing, you will see a mosque. Even some of the mosques and church are even close to each other. I know of a mosque a church which they always come only on Sunday to perform the Sunday like prayers, right? And when it's time for prayers for the Muslim to call azan at 1 o'clock, the church, like, they go on break and the Muslims will pray. After the prayers, then they begin playing the drums. When it reaches 3 o'clock, the Christianity stop. The church closed at 4:30 to 5. Is it not love? Where in the world you can hear even this kind of story? And what other people are taking it, that it came from the national chief imam, that he said that the man who was arrested, really, honestly, it's not arrested because of because of what he says. To me, my thinking, that man was arrested for an example, because what the Christianity guy said concerning Prophet Muhammad, and people didn't hear that person has been arrested, and that Muslim imam also uses a word like that. If that guy was arrested earlier, to my opinion, I don't think that Imam will come out also and say this word, harsh words on social media, for it to go viral, for leading for his arresting. But there are other ways of I like to talk to people. There are other ways to talk to people, to listen to you and follows you, but not in a violence way. So what do you
Okay.
imply to me, that maybe nowadays when you talk about, even before, not now, before, nobody can even say something about the prophet and go for free. It's just like the love that we all have for our prophet, or the love that we have even for our sheikhs. You cannot even say this to our sheikh. God has given us in Ghana a peaceful chief imam. If you could remember, there was a time when is it prophets this prophet, what's the name, there's a prophet, he has a name, a pastor who also, like he said, he prophesies the chief imam will soon pass away. And the whole media,
Yeah.
how people heard, some of the guys went to the church, they want to break his signboard, and after that the peaceful issue came, and then everything were revealed. It's a love that we have for our chief imam. That is why people also like started reacting in that way. But to go beyond to our prophet, my brother, I know definitely no one will accept this kind of insult. You understand me? Like not you,
Yeah.
your creator. Then someone will just say to my brother, this is not even a word for me. It's even strong for me even to for me to be invited on this issue. Even I find it like no, it's not me to be the person to come. It's just like I'm the nananum the grandchildren, the grandchildren of my even imam, for me to come here and talk something like this. But since we want the peace to reveal, that's why we are invited. But I'll tell each and everyone who are listening, you know, we should know how we will use our social media for us not to get into trouble, because this issue, insulting, is become something you will not see this in advanced country. Never ever you don't hear this in advanced country. So I wish each and everyone who is listening, the religious way we live peacefully in Ghana, since from our nananom, we need it to come the same thing till now as we are all living. So this is what I have. If you
Okay.
have a thing, you can thank you.
Okay. So Elijah Hassan is his line keeps breaking, and I'm sure maybe probably producer will have to check with him to make sure that his connection is stable as well. I was going to remain or stay with Elijah Hassan on the topic. Elijah Hassan has been one because of his figure in Japan or his status in Japan. He happens to mingle with between the Christian and Islamic communities in Ghana. I want to find out personally from him whether he's
Yeah.
been participating in Christian activities in Japan here, and when he does, what are the reactions or response? Does he feel that he's welcome into the circles of the, for instance, Christians are having an event at church and then he shows up with his jarabia and other Islamic apparel? Is he like, is he received well? Is he welcomed? Does he feel like the peaceful coexistence that has always existed between Ghanaians and between Muslims and Christians in Ghana? Does he feel same here in Japan when he goes into the Ghanaian community when Christians are exercising or performing their rituals?
Thank you so much for this question. I know our producer, Pope Nanayao, is also hearing this issue. Recently, I know mostly when Christianity are inviting Muslims here in Japan, we normally goes, and then not in numbers sometimes, because the time the program started, that's the time we also have our evening prayers. Our prayers in the evening is a short time. You go the Maghrib within an hour, sometimes before an hour. We perform the Isha, so it's hardly we only go and then shows we are really accepted the invitation. We go and then later and then at times we go. They allow, if I go, mostly the kind of program I go. Sometimes they allow me to even give the like the end of prayers. You understand me? They allow me to give the end of
Hmm.
prayers. But the same thing applies to we Muslims. We always, if you are having a program, so far as we are all Ghanaians and we live here in uh, Japan, and we are having a program, we need to invite each and everyone. Because there are people who don't know what we do in our prayer places. So when we invite you to come and you come and see what we do, or the reason why we invited you, you also go out there and also share it to other people. Recently, there was a program that I went, which it was a Christianity program, and I was invited. And actually, I was sitting within the audience. So later, someone called me and said, "Mr. Hassan, we know you not because of the invitation that we gave you, but we know." when we such program like this, as Mr. Hassan, you should have been in the high table, or they should invite you. Since you are only Muslim who come here, you have to go to the high table. In fact,
I
when the
too.
person says that, I feel very heavy to reply him. So after the program, I called the pastor being my friend, and I told him this is what somebody said, but I'm not the one requesting, not Hassan alone. Anytime you guys have a program which you invite any Muslim, might be a lady or might be, you just ask, is there any Muslim among here? Then you let the person come to the high table. That is how it's supposed to be. Even in Muslim community, when we are anybody who is non-Muslim, we let the person feel more than us. And that is how it is. Even if you're invited in, you have to eat and even more than those who are in that house. Or is that not how it goes? So that makes the person
Yeah.
feel welcome. So in Japan here, anytime I've been invited, in fact, I love the way things are going on between Christian and Muslim in Japan also. So I wish it continue like that. But let me give you a small
Okay.
story concerning, we have a biggest mosque around here in Gamo, Saitama here.
Mm,
Recently, they were
mm,
the community there, the Japanese people were complaining concerning how they see people coming each and every time. Like a whole lot of people will come, and after prayers, they will not even move, go. They just stand and having conversation. They don't like it that way. So they try to have a demonstration. So some few
mm,
Japanese people, they gave a date, and the police were escorted them to the mosque because they said they want to come for
mm,
demonstration. The mosque also allowed them, the executives in the mosque also allowed them, they can come. Imagine what happened.
mm,
They thought they
mm,
are, if they come, they are coming to like meet people, and then they to maybe go against, like it will be, there will be a conflict, and then the police people were behind them also. They have strong feeling that if they come, they will say, they will come and say their feelings, whatever. They entered. They no, they reached the entrance of the mosque, and then they don't want to enter because there wasn't they came to the day that there wasn't a lot of people. So the imam and then the elders who are in the executives in the mosque, when they heard that the people are coming, they all went at the entrance to welcome them and ask them, with due respect, if they can remove their shoes and enter inside, and they prepare them
mm,
drinks. They prepare them these bottled drinks, not the one that is in a cup, so that they will not even drink and say
mm,
they put something in. They bought ucha and other things, hot one, and then waited for them. When they came, they asked them to enter in. Everything that they bought for the gift is all Japanese thing. So they were surprised and see that, we are coming to demonstrate on them. One of the old man said he didn't know what he should say, and it came in the newspaper. This thing that I'm saying, it came in
mm,
a newspaper. They were all like, they could not even say a word. They're confused. And later, I was called by one of the uh, securities normally come on Fridays at the mosque. I called and I was interviewed that what happened on that day. Was it like there was a word that we used to the people, and they were confused, and they could not even do the demonstration anymore, and they came like only 10 people that were there, and we thought when they said they are coming for demonstration, they were coming many. And imagine if they even came and then they shout at them, or they want to stop them not even to enter the mosque. What do you think it will happen? They will think that these people, they are like that. That is why we don't accept them to like continue to having prayers here. But later on, they went back with a very good word that those people they came and meet are not the people who, when they come to the mosque, they come and disturb sometimes standing outside. So, but from even when that mosque we started operating, we've been telling people that when you come and pray, please don't stand outside, because the area is a community that people live in. When you even started talking, they don't like it. And Japan, they don't like even people standing, two, three, four people having conversation. They don't know what you guys are like discussing. But even police will
They are
not
not
even allow
comfortable
you
with that.
standing four or five. They are not comfortable with that. So we tell everyone that that thing should never happen. So that is love, peace. And this thing that we are all saying, what you ask me now, when someone is invited in a Christianity church, or maybe a wedding or whatever, and you show the person love, since it's non-Christian, you show him love, what do you think the person will go with? He will go and say, this is how I went there, the people did to me. Oh. But the belief is from your heart. My last sermon that
You
I'll
come
tell
to
you,
your
the
you come to your last sermon, Alaji Hassan. Let me go to
okay,
Pastor Dr. William Kabuno also here. Then I'll come back to you, Doc.
okay,
I'm coming back to you. There are about 2.3 billion Christians in the world, right? And we have
Yeah.
2 billion Muslims. In total, there are Google says that there are between 4,000 to 10,000, over 4,000 to 10,000 different religious bodies in the world. Everybody and their faith, right? Looking at all these conversations, Alaji Hassan has said a lot of things about Muslims and how peaceful they are. You have also come from a perspective of how Muslims and Christians have always coexisted peacefully in Ghana, and how different they are from the other Muslims that we find in other countries. And you also you shared a very, very insightful life story with us. But my question to you is this: in 2026, do you think or believe that religion or the practice of religion is relevant or must play or should play or can play key role in the development of African countries? Do you think that religion still has that relevance in terms of maintaining the religious rituals, performance, and spirituality? Is there any connection between the religious practice, and the development of Africa? Please give us some perspective on this for us.
Well, I from my background, I might say that just few, and I'll come there. Now, if you go to a country like Rwanda, Rwanda
Mm,
has found a way of sideline religious aspect out of their economy and
mm,
out of their national program. If you want to be a
mm,
pastor, if you want to be an imam, you have to go in for license, you have to be trained, and they will make sure certain comments you will not pass.
mm,
Now, let's be honest to our Christian friends this time. Let me be honest. Now, you will see, if we are to build a nation, you will see a church members
mm,
attending church from Monday to Friday. This can never and never help the nation building. If we be
mm,
honest to ourselves,
mm,
because for our brother Muslims, when it is time for them to pray, at least the longest they have is
mm.
30 minutes. When they are done with their
Yes.
prayers, they are back to their work.
Mm,
But you see a brother, Monday in the morning, church service to 12 o'clock. After 12 o'clock, what are you going to do? You've almost spent half of your day. And one thing about God is that He grants us the grace, but the rest is to make sure that we empty all the wisdom and everything He's given unto us on this earth before we leave. He
mm,
did not grant us the grace, the strength to always be with Him at church. No, but He wants us to
mm,
manifest what we have in us. So it is important building a nation. I think some of our leaders were not getting certain things right.
mm,
Yeah, it is good as a Christians we have together and pray and know our maker. And again, comparing,
mm,
looking at the conflicts, one might say between Christians and Muslims. As for Ghana, I always say the basis of our culture supersedes our the religious aspect. because our culture is very supreme, irrespective of whatever. Because we are trained, we are told that when an elderly person speak, calm yourself down, listen, and obey. So tempest can rise, whatever it is. But if an elderly person, he can be an imam, he can be a pastor, they say, look, guys, calm down before you realize everything is cool over there. So our culture, when it talks of we talk of peace, it's super, but the religious aspect, where the differences comes, I think is this, and number one, God, the creator of heaven and earth, will never set confusion between believers. He will never do it. Sometimes it's our mindset and the way we read the Quran, the way we read the Bible, and what we think it is, and we intend to say maybe we might know better than the God who created, but that is not God's intention at all. Because God is a God of peace. So if you look at the basis of Islam and Christian, number one is peace. It's only when we are sharing ideas and we want to look at it, and sometimes it marvels because the creator himself is looking at peace, but we who are learning things, this is what it is, and we know more than the creator. So it is very, very important as a nation, we have to look at it critically. For this, I will hit more on our Christian brethren because when we intend looking at religious aspect, we might be passing certain comments that will not help. So Rwanda has sideline, in Russia they have sideline, even in China they have anything about religious, because when you start, it brings argument. That's what I'm saying. As for Ghana, our paramount key here is the culture, the way we were brought up, the way we were trained, and elders involving senior, when they speak irrespective of who you are, you have to calm down. But other countries, hey, they feel like, speak and let me speak, talk and let me talk. If you come out, I also come out. Then especially in Nigeria. Now I was telling someone, I said, look, most of the confusions in Nigeria, Nigerians are more vocal than Ghanaians. When a Nigerian pastor is preaching, he will try to be vocal and condemn. But if a Ghanaian pastor is preaching, apart from few who are also learning something that is out of boundaries, you realize that they are also cautious and very, very articulate about whatever they say. Because one word from you can create confusion. So building a nation, there are other countries that have sidelined a lot of religious belief. They'll tell you, look, wait. Now, take a country like China. You dare not spend time telling yourself you are going to see a church, you are going to do this. No. They'll tell you business first, because we're giving wisdom to apply. We have been given knowledge to produce or to build a nation. It's rather unfortunate in some countries, and let me take Ghana as an example, where these political figures want something, that is where they try to throw in religious belief, and there are certain things they'll tell you, we command the people. No, we should critically look at it, because the moment we try to do this, then on religious line, people might be a little bit lazy, all in the name of I'm waiting for God. But meanwhile, so building a nation, I think as for God factor is number one. But God himself also gives a direction as to what we have to do. Because there are parts we have to play, there are parts God also plays. And God is already done with his part. So when it comes to thinking, planning, and others, God expects us to take the move. As we progress, then he gives us the wisdom. So the religious aspect in building a nation, it is not that much, but we are rather focusing much on the religious aspect. Because A child in China will know God and at the same time will know how to put an engine together or how to assemble
Mm.
something, a car engine, or how to do this, how to do this, how to do this. Can we say in Ghana?
No.
Can we say you see
So,
church
so, uh,
having
uh, so, uh, uh, so, doctor. So, you being a man of God and a pastor, you sit and you see these things happening about how the we of course the question here is the essence of religion, right? We've seen churches like the Catholic Church and the Presbyterian Church, and a number of them getting involved in education, helping to build educational infrastructure, helping some communities to develop. Of course, you also have an outreach where you are using it to touch many lives in remote parts of Ghana, and you also
yeah,
a brain specialist as well. So you are doing that in combination. But in terms of
yeah.
nation building, in terms of individual human development, for instance, there's a story that I've asked my producer to put on, a story that was published on Ghana Web, that reads that Ghanaian woman dies in Canada after allegedly using Yesu moja and prolonged fasting. Producer, you can put that on the screen. So with such things, in terms of the Christian leadership here, sometimes the beliefs go to extent of quote unquote being irrational. When you see stories like this, someone using this moja and fasting and then dying out of it, and some of the things that happen, the excesses in religion, that's how I'll term it. But of course, like I said, the positive sides are there. But in terms of the negatives, like stories like this, how do you react to them?
It's quite heartbreaking certain times when you hear some of these things. Not that God cannot heal, He does it. He does it. I've seen that countless times. But I think that at the level in which we fail to educate our people that there are so many types of healing. There are healing through the hospital, is the doing of the Lord, and there are instant miracles and other things. But can I be honest with you? Sometimes you go to the hospitals, you attend to patients, and you see all manner of things around them. And when they are even on their medication, they are not going to take it, and they will tell you they are on the use moja thing.
Mm.
And in fact,
Oh,
that thing
so
is
you have you had experiences like that, personal experiences like that, where you are attending
a
to people
lot,
and
a lot, a lot, a lot, a
wow,
lot, a lot. And a lot of the doctors are also complaining about it. When they
wow.
are discharged and they are asked to go home, they are going to get to use
Mm.
moja. And you are like, what is it? They will not be on their medication. They are telling you they are going for use moja. And oh man, he's
Wow.
not the only one. There are a lot of things that are happening, a lot of things that are going on. People will not be on their
Mm.
medication and they'll decide to be on. And one thing I will tell you is that they are now using the gift of God. They have turned the gift of God into product,
Mm.
and they are rather marketing the product than the creator himself,
Mm.
and which is dangerous to us. Because if we are to give them knowledge, some of these things might not be. No, with our experiences with the outreach, and it's good Iman is here with me. About 6 years ago, the first day we went to a certain village,
Mm.
somebody asked, and surprisingly, it was a Muslim friend who took me there,
Okay.
who guided me. He said, as for this, we have to be in boat. I'm going to be with you. Don't worry. Let's go. He was in the
Mm.
boat when we went there. There have been instances where we go to certain places and the drivers are Muslims. There was someone
Mm.
we even spent a whole week there. The, the driver was with us. He's a Muslim. If we get up, by the time by 5 o'clock, he's already awake. He's done with his prayers. Then he will tell, Dog, we are ready. Can we go? I said, Yes, let's set off. We actually celebrated a Christmas with him.
Wow.
So for our team, And most of the places, even the remote areas, we attend to the Fulanis who are Muslims a lot. They come there, sit down, we preach. Whatever they have to take, they take. Whatever things we want to share with them, we share with them. If it is free screening, they come, they attend. And we tell them that, look, okay, or you can come
So,
in.
Pastor, I want you to be come clear. Do you think that religion has a role to play in national development? And what are the rules? I want you to state, okay, religion has a role to play in the development of Ghana, and these are ABCD rules. I'll be interested if you can give me those specific statements.
All right, it has, but the way we are looking at it, we need to, I might say 50-50 or even 60-40. And number one, the role religion plays is that it brings discipline. It's rather unfortunate sometimes we look at certain, because sometimes things might be up and religious leader will come in and talk, then everything, it comes down temper. And sometimes they even talk to people, educate people about certain things. No, don't do this, he's this. So the discipline aspect is that paramount. Okay. Then number two, this side, I might say, it has the power to encourage and discourage.
Okay.
Because for instance, let me one of our religious body, Jehovah Witness, when you go to the hospital, they'll tell you, look, any blood infusion, don't take it. You've gotten colleagues who they have part, and even in Russia, they don't allow it.
Oh.
They don't allow it. Yes, Russia doesn't allow Jehovah Witness at all. Why? Because of some of these things. So, for example, they can encourage a patient, don't take it. Other religion can also say, look, it is for your health and God needs you alive, so take it. So, another session is that it can encourage and discourage. But we look at the positive aspect. Then number three is that religious body can really educate and make sure some of our children who thinks that everything is about being at the church, but not the other side, is wrong. Because as you pray, you need the other hand. And when it comes to the economy aspect, this is where religious thing doesn't play, because you look at indicators. Because when the economy is down, no matter how religiously you are, it will affect you.
So you touch on a very, very important angle, Pastor. You touch on a very, very important angle, which I will now gladly chip in. So the last 2 days, right? And my producer will put that also on the screen. We have the general overseer, the founder of Action Chapel International. Reverend Duncan Williams, come out to say that let us pray for Gold Bond. This is where the connection comes in. You have brought it. Let's pray for Gold Bond. Let us pray to make sure that our water bodies are not contaminated with poison, cyanide, and those sort of things because of galamsey. And someone sitting somewhere, no religious person will say that, but we know the problems confronting galamsey. We know the galamseyers, those who are behind the galamsey activities. We know the youth in communities engaging in galamsey. Why don't we go and arrest and make sure that we prosecute people engaging in the galamsey activities, those funding it? But rather, we have a Christian minister standing in church and asking Christians to pray so that the water bodies don't get contaminated, as if they are expecting God to conjure a magic from heaven to make sure that when they even put the chemicals in the water bodies, they don't get contaminated. Gold Board, if you are not using sound business acumen to manage our gold, to manage and make profit out of our gold. And then we sit and say that let us pray for gold board because there are things happening within the spiritual realm and stuff. Here, what is the connection here? Is it supposed to be when we are supposed to use rational behavior, rational thinking to solve these problems, or where we are asking men of God to pray to make sure that we overcome some of these things which are very much scientific?
Now, I understand you clearly. Now, I want to let me draw attention here. Do you think even in Japan, Russia, or Rwanda, would they take pastors over there to go and pray? No, they are
We
going
hardly
to
see it
take
here.
drastic actions and bring down all the kingpins in there. Look, let's be honest. This our religious, our leaders, a lot of them knows these kingpins in this Galamsey. They know them. And with the gold board, they attack. There is one funny thing I have realized. All the politicians are attacking gold board because that's the way of moving gold from the country freely without paying anything is the challenge here. So from onset, from day one, irrespective of whatever it is, they will fight this gold board because those doing illegal mining, there are a lot of companies that will be involved and say, look, let's throw dust in the eyes of our people so that they will collapse the gold board. Other than that, to affect our business. But for instance, in Japan, you cannot move a gold from Japan without even a coin of a gold. You can never move it. It has to go through certain process. And if you are able and you get to maybe Dubai will ask you, where did you buy your gold from? We want to see the document. And so this is how the gold board has been set up. No gold is able to move from this country unless you go through the gold board. And if you're a country and you receive a gold from Ghana without the approval of the gold board, and gold board finds it, gold board will put you on the blacklist. You will not receive gold from them. And it will affect their business. So these days, when even people take gold outside, they are asked, can we have your document? So it's not the internal aspect alone, but external. So with this is wisdom. It is resources that the Lord has given unto us. So we need wisdom. If you go in and pray, you will mess things up.
Okay.
So
That's an interesting perspective.
if you read the Bible very well, when Joseph was asked to be in charge, look at what Pharaoh said. Who amongst you have this knowledge? There is no one. It was Joseph. He said, well, then I will ask Joseph to hand. The Bible said Joseph did not enter his bedroom, or Joseph did not start attending prayers from Monday to Friday. Right away, he set off farming. Let's store, let's buy a lot of food down, let's preserve it. Every techniques in agriculture, he exhibited it. In economy, he exhibited it. Because if you are doing this, tell me, how many hours will you pray in the church? You don't even get time. Joseph should have said, oh, since I have seen it, let me always pray so that there will always be abundance of food. No. Because there are part we have to play, there are part prayers play, and there are part God plays. The ones we are supposed to play, God will never do that work for us because that's our duty. So when it comes to the economy, the religious thing, we have to put it aside. You remember the same Archbishop Duncan Williams was even saying that there are a lot of people who have come to him that they are not able to send their goods away, so he should assist them, gold board. But he said, hey, because when the city starts falling down, if a religious body, it will affect you. It will affect your members. It will affect their businesses. So that's for the religious aspect. It plays a role, but not up to the wisdom God has given to us to manage our resources. We don't need God. And sometimes that is why, let me give you one funny thing. You know, you and I have stayed in Sunyani and we know the river bodies over there. Like
Yes,
the
please.
Tano rivers, they'll tell you, you need not to fish from it. And we believe
Yeah.
this traditional because there are a lot of stories about it that if you go to fish from it, you might be chewing the fishes belong to the river goddess and other things, a whole lot of things.
Yes. Yes.
But the question I want to ask is that where are they now?
Very
Where
sad.
are they?
So,
They're also sitting down.
so to chip in a little bit, when I was in Ghana last month, I went to Sunyani, and when I was when I was crossing the Tano River, I couldn't recognize it. Because I remember somewhere in the late 90s and early 2000s, my mom used to visit there. So I also happened to be there a number of times. That time, the waters were crystal clear. You could stand there and then see all the fishes. And some of the
Sure,
fishes will come with some
sure.
shiny spot on their head. And
Yes.
they used to say it's good. And then so people are forbidden from even
Mm-hmm.
consuming fishes from the Tano River. Today, the Tano River is like when you prepare tea, right? In the morning, when you put
Yes.
Milo and then you add this, yeah, the color has totally changed. They are fell. What is even the word? All the trees there have been felled, right? All the trees that used to serve the banks of the river have been felled. It's an open place. Now you don't see anything. So what you are saying is absolutely right. All those things are going away.
Yes, because now, can you just imagine when the kingpins are caught, you will find religious bodies trying to talk to the president, please leave them, leave them. So you see the kind of role it plays here. It can encourage and discourage. But if we want to build a nation, we should leave religious bodies down. They should focus on God and the wisdom that God has given to others to manage nations. They should also, because look, to date, there are a lot of people who are going around, religious leaders trying to talk to the president to release wound to me. There are a whole lot of things happening here. But who
Mm.
doesn't know that all these guys are into Galamsey? And they are making it in their own interest, not in the interest of the nation. So it is important, yes. He argues that we should pray. And this is it. God praying
So
for it is number one.
mm, mm.
But sustaining it is wisdom.
This wisdom. Okay, so I'll hold Pastor Dr. William Kwabno to here and bring in Hassan. Producer, please put that image back on the Duncan Williams one. I want to bring in Muslim colleague on the other side, Alaji Hassan. Producer, please put that back on, and I want to take his reaction on that together with the put it on my face and then put it allow Hassan to be on. So Hassan, I hope you are still with us.
I'm still with you guys.
Okay, so producer, shift the Duncan Williams image to my side and let so that Alaji Hassan can see it. Alaji, one, we've
Yes,
seen a
please.
number of things happening in Ghana in terms of religion. And listen, I'm boxing it together. I will take your perspective too on it. We've seen that there are times that we see that some Ghanaians have died in Canada. We first put that on because the woman who was in hospital refused treatment and she was drinking what they call a sobolo that they term or called as Yesu Moja. Producer, please put that on. You let it cover my face. Don't worry. Mr. Hassan, I want him to get the grasp of what I'm saying. And the woman died
Amen.
because he was given Yesu Moja to drink, and then she also believed in fasting. She died out of it. She refused medical treatment, scientific. What pastor has said, pastor is a doctor. These things, he's saying that in terms of religion, I mean, religion is separate. When you're talking about religion, is spirituality, connects you to your God. It has nothing to do with fasting and drinking Yesu Moja. We've seen images or videos where some big pastors in Ghana are saying that let us pray for gold board because the gold board is coming under attack. We've also seen videos of pastors saying that let us pray to God to help us so that our water bodies do not get contaminated or polluted with chemicals from the Galamsey activities. How do you react to these things when you see them happening in Ghana?
Well, as you asked a question earlier on, and doctor also reply you in like, we should leave if we want to build a nation. We shouldn't add the religious aspect there. That is really 100% true. Because I'll tell you, when you go to Zongo, as you earlier say, you have lived in Zongo before. I'll
Mm.
tell you one thing.
I grew up
You
in
could see
Ezongo.
that you grew up in Zongo. Thank you. You
Yeah.
could see that there will be maybe a Muslim person or a Muslim family will do something which they have to be taken to the right place to question them, like taking them to police station or taking them to
Yeah.
where the right place should be. But
Mm.
through maybe one famous imam or one imam or chief in the area, they will go to the police station and tell them, oh, Muma Enyano Ifiasem, then they will leave them and bring them back home. Yet,
Mm.
if it is stealing or someone stealing something, or maybe they arrest the person, they will go and talk about it, they'll bring the person back home. Are you telling me that if they bring the person back home, what kind of advice will the people take after they bring them
Mm.
home? But if they use the nation, maybe the rules that govern maybe the person should go to prison in this year, or the way maybe it has been put up that if they punish the person this way, it will be a lesson for others to learn. But taking the
Mm.
person back because in the name of religion, in the name of maybe should I use a tribe? Are we not spoiling each other? So I mean
Mm.
that implies also, believing in certain things that is, I'll call it haram. Like for instance, people are going to get married. They will use a certain kind of, I don't know how to put it. Like maybe if you use this way, it will be well for them after they got married. You can see even some people, even I don't know now. It's not like before. They will give birth to
Mm.
a baby boy. They will say, give him a tribal mark. That tribal mark will do what? And the person will grow instead of him to become like maybe a minister because of the tribal faces. They cannot even uh, give him a position in a maybe if I would say agriculture minister should have a tribal mark. They will say because of maybe he's in love with animals. That sorry to use this word, is totally wrong for us to connect
Mm.
the religion to build a nation. Is totally wrong. Seriously. So we shouldn't put our mind there. If we want to build a nation, as doctor said earlier on, if you go to China, no, even in Japan here, the way they teach the children in school, tertiary, in Ghana,
Mm.
yaka ichiro.
Mm.
You can see they will say there's something that they call maybe something school day for children.
Mm.
Instead of them
Mm.
to see a lot of children dressing up in dressing up to become engineers, or maybe some people in future, a lot of them you see holding Bible and then they say they want to become pastors. Why? Because they see that is where it brings money so quick. Pastor said something earlier on. Monday to Friday or Monday to Sundays, we have some people they are at one place preaching that connects to this kind of occultism, and maybe if I'll use the word like they are serious into some kind of belief, and it connects with our new generation that they are going to take Sikadro and so forth. You see, because what they see, they know that, oh, I'm in a hurry to go and have some prayers, and it will come. Even some will even stop taking medicines. They will say prayers of the this particular imam or this particular malam or this particular pastor will be best than the medicine. So please, I'll advise. I mean, not that we are in an advanced country here. At times, this kind of program should be. I mean, continuously, so that people will hear and then will bring our mindset where we can
Of
even,
course,
yeah. You see.
of course.
So
So,
I think we should be doing
mm,
this.
okay, so Mr. Hassan, you've been in Japan for a very long time. You've seen the Japanese way of life. As we speak now, the we are still in the Omoyasumi. Some companies have resumed work, others have not resumed. And the basis of the Omoyasumi is mainly like the Japanese people trying to connect to their ancestry, and that's the Japanese side of spirituality. That's a week that they
Yeah.
used to go and pray and visit the graves of their great great grandfathers and their forefathers. They go to their graves and observe all these things. So the Japanese people
Yeah.
have their spirituality or their spiritual life, but they don't believe in Islam and Christianity and all those things. You've been
Yeah.
in Japan for a long time, and you know the Japanese way of life, right? That in
Yeah.
as much as they
Yeah.
believe in this thing, they also believe in hygiene. There has been a very, very disturbing image of people observing Islamic prayers. And I'm going to ask my producer to put that image on right now, where they are observing prayers in a very, very filthy environment. I want you to advise across the divide, both Christians and Muslims in Ghana, about some of these things, about being hygienic and helping to keep the environment clean. When I was in Ghana, it rained. It rained heavily in June, and a lot of places were flooded. People died as a result, and a lot of things happened. I believe if you have seen, Koko, please put that back on. The producer should put that back on. And here, people, if you can please zoom it out so that viewers can see the activity that is happening. People are praying. They are supposedly praying to God who created us. But look at the environment. This is where the distinguishing factors must come in. Is God looking out for us to just pray or to be responsible people? How do you react to some of these things when you see them on social media together with what the Christians are also doing?
Thank you so much, my brother. You know, Islamic, each and everyone knows that before you perform a prayer, you have to perform an ablution,
Mm,
which you have to make yourself clean, which there is a
mm,
Quran version which says An-Nazafatu min al-Iman, which says you need
mm,
to cleaning of yourself is part of your faith. You know,
mm,
it's not about only the religious side. As a human being,
mm,
if you are clean,
mm,
ubenyache, you will not
mm,
say because you are poor, you will go and be taking things which is as expired and you'll be eating. Never.
mm, mm,
And the same thing, you will not say because you are poor, you don't have money to go and throw rubbish or burn rubbish or find a nice place to burn a rubbish.
mm,
Since you are poor, you live in a compound house, you'll be throwing rubbish in the house. Any food that is expired, you just put it and then it will become something else, which it will
mm,
disturb you in particular. If an adult, you don't think sickness comes through dirty, then your children, I don't think your children will even come and meet the type of age that you have been. So
mm,
what do you just imply now? In the
mm,
Islamic, we always
mm,
make sure when it is the month every Friday we go to mosque. The imam, before we perform the prayer, he stands and then have a sermon for each everyone, all the masjid, all the mosque. We call it utuba. He
mm,
advised. He says how we are going to be, we will be living, or something that it won't bring a problem to us because we are always
mm.
practicing the religion. This thing
Okay.
that happened in Ghana, no one knows it will happen, isn't it? But
Yeah. No,
some people came
that
and
one
said,
is a bit contentious because I remember June 3.
yeah,
June 3 happened in 2015, if I'm correct, because at that time I was working
okay,
at Airtel Ghana and I closed from work. And what happened,
okay,
there was an explosion, a lot of people died as a result of that. Right? Right
okay,
after that, there were a number of Americans who went on a media platform and predicted that because of our lifestyle, because of our culture, how we behave over time, they can predict that same time next year, Accra will be flooded again. True to their words, it happened. The following year, Accra flooded again. Just this year in
yes, Mr. Shegu,
2026, we've experienced it
yes.
again.
Let
So
me
we
tell
knew
you
it
this
would
thing.
happen. Hmm.
No, let me tell you this thing. Sometimes we prophesy things and it happens, but we can't challenge God when it comes to rain. Even
Hmm.
Japanese here recently, there was a
The
news here in
Chiba
Japan.
rains. Yeah, Chiba.
Yes, they never know it will rain like this. And before that, there was typhoon that was coming. The way everyone was really, really scared at this typhoon, the way the news, and it didn't come that way. But
Hmm.
let's forget about that or like prophesizing the weather forecast will see. You as a human
Hmm.
being know that whatever that has a name, whatever thing that you have, something will happen. It will happen. So always you
Okay.
have to be ready.
Okay. Okay.
Always you
So
have to be ready.
that's the submission of Alhaji Hassan. And a few comments that have come in. The first comment comes from Pa Swazi Esuman, and he's testing us on our Facebook platform. He says that, man of God, God bless you, is a matter of wisdom. So on the subject of whether someone praying and someone also believing in Yesu Moja and fasting and all that against wisdom, and the subject of praying for good board and the river bodies and all that, I believe that this is the opinion of that person in that regard. Another comment also comes in and says that very good submission from Alaji Hassan. I miss him. This is from Baba Yaya. I don't know where Baba Yaya is testing us from. And then the last comment that I will take before I go back to Pastor William Kwabno Usu, doctor, let me put that in code because that's very, very important. He studied for it. The last comment says a very good and educative program. We need to have more programs like this on your platform. Thank you very much for watching. The name of the platform is Jaffe Kolio Japan Jaffe Kolio Studios. This is where the program is happening live. Our boss spokesman has also brought in his comment on the platform, and then he says that we need to work but not pray from morning to night. That's the comment or submission from our boss spokesman. Um, Doc, this time around, he said, "Man, anyway, if I say further things, maybe his church will sanction him. So um, let me keep that in the wrap for now. But Doc, I'm coming to you this time around. You have an outreach or some initiatives that you are doing. The name of the initiative is Dr. William Kwabno Usu Outreach Ministry. You're also a brain specialist. Please walk us through a little on what your outreach is doing and whether you do this in connection with your medical background. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're using your outreach to touch lives.
Yeah, so as you just said, um, it's an outreach program. Basically, it's not a church,
Mm,
it's outreach for all because we don't
mm,
discriminate. We have
okay.
Muslims, we have Hindus, traditional worshippers, all of them. So
Mm,
what we do is that we reach out to places people don't go.
mm.
Places people don't go. We've been to place that car goes there once in a week. We've been to
Wow.
places that car doesn't go there. Yes, car doesn't go there at all. We have to walk some. We have to
What
sit
is the
at
name
the
of
back
the?
of.
Can you give us some of the names of these places?
Yes, Domekope, Ayawata, Jolokope. I mean the Afram Plains, Uti region,
Mm.
then the Volta region,
Yeah, northern Volta, the northern part of Volta region.
the northern part of Volta. Very deep.
Wow,
For
wow.
instance, next
Okay.
week like this, we'll be going to Salaga. And and
Mm.
and the places we go, some when I try to show some of the videos, you break down. You
Wow.
see people walking naked. Yes, that is Ghana here.
Wow.
Walking
In
naked.
No
2026.
clothes. Wear. Yes, we have the videos and the pictures here.
Are you saying
The
kids,
fuzzy
kids,
drinks we
I
drink,
mean, when you are kids, like 5 years, 6 years, when you are walking naked is normal. Are you talking about kids?
they're including the elders too.
Wow.
Are you say
We've
it's
Wow.
been
kind
to
of
places.
it's kind of religious, or maybe they are
No,
still
no,
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 they
in
don't
no.
have
the
the clothes. They don't. They don't
No,
have
he's
the clothes to wear.
wow, 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 wow,
They
wow,
don't.
wow.
And because we are live, so some of the things I have to quote it. Sometime when
yes,
people
yes.
come home, when some of the
Mm.
leaders come home, and
Mm.
I try to show them, I try to
Mm.
show them
Let me come.
on TV. They're like, "Are we? Is it Ghana here? Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, this is Ghana for you." Because
Mm.
we reach the unreached. We go to places people don't go. In fact, we went to a place where they still do butter trading. Bring salt and let me bring. And we're like, ooh, this is really a heartbreaking thing. When I heard it, I asked myself, he said, yes, as for this place, when the time comes and you have this, you can bring it and we exchange it, we take on. I said, oh, okay. So you realize that these are places that has been neglected. And the
Mm.
Lord just directed me that look, reach out to these people. And we have the team,
Mm.
my wife and all my kids are all part. And we've been embarking on this for the past 6 years now. We go there, spend sometime a week with them. Throughout the week, we are here. We give them free medications. And you know the cost of the medications there, they are very expensive. We have to get a
Very expensive.
medication.
Mm.
Yes, do give them free care, examine them. If it is that serious, we refer them to a nearby all the regional hospitals. Then
Mm.
we give them clothes to wear. We give sometimes if we have food, we are able to give them the food, the drinks we have, we share with them. And and again, if there is anything educative, we try to educate them about it. That look, this is what we're then as well. When we go to we add the kingdom activities to them that you have to know God. And we do it in a way that we don't discriminate at all. We have our Muslim
Mm.
brothers, we have other religious body, we have traditional worshippers. There was a time, there was a place we went, and when we left, the call we had was
Mm.
that 16 fetish priests gave their life to Christ.
Mm.
16. These are
16,
idol
16
worshippers.
verses.
And yes,
Wow.
gave their life to Christ, and we're like, oh, okay. The best thing for us is that they will not be able to follow their idol, but I mean, liberate themselves out of that slavery mind of thinking. That is our target, and it is important that the God aspect will also be recognized in their life. So it's heartbreaking sometimes when we go. You see case, and there was even a place we went. I think the school is up to class two or class one.
Wow.
Yes, the entire community, yeah.
The entire
So
community has
when
a
they are,
school that is just up to class one.
yes, if the teacher comes there
Wow.
today, the following day he will not come. There were no books, no teaching materials. We have to gather some teaching materials out there, send it to them. There are places we went when it rains, they don't come to town at all. They are locked, and some we have to walk through lakes, rivers around before we get there. So the places we go, if I'm to share some of the pictures and the views with you, and I thank God, Pope is also an ambassador, and the Jafric Radio too is also an ambassador for the Touching Life campaign. It's heart beating. It's heart beating when you see the kind of water they drink with animals. Drink with animals,
Wow.
it will just break your heart. It is. I'll send you some of the pictures when we are done. And I think there was a man who came here after watching. He said, "Look, I'm down. I'm down. What is life without touching lives? What is life without touching lives? At least sometimes the little thing one gives, when we get there, it puts smiles on their face. Sometimes we have to be on top of the water lake before we get to places. There was a place some time ago we went. The people themselves told us they don't think we'll come back the following day. We promised them. But to be honest with you, we stayed on the water lake for hours before we got to where they were. It wasn't easy.
Wow.
We now understand the reason why they said they are not sure we'll come back. Because looking at the distance, and we're able to get there because our motto and our aim is to just reach the rich where people go, where people cannot go. That is where we go. Sometimes you'll be in the thick forest, thick bush, nobody, no community, no house over there. I don't remember some time ago our car got spoiled, and the closest town, when the middle of the bush, the closest town was 17 kilometers away from where we were.
Wow. 17 kilometers.
17 kilometers away. So we were not even close to where we will be lodging. We were in the bush. That is the nearest town. So there are a whole lot of things that is happening, and it's just heartbreaking. The fusy drinks our kids get at home. Somebody told me, said he has never taken rice before. So the day I'll come, please, I should get. I said, really? Do you mean it? He said yes. So it's heartbreaking, and we
Wow.
opened ourselves up for all manner of donation to come. Moving medical personnel there to take care of their health. It's not easy. I have a Muslim friend who told me, said, Doc, I've seen what you are doing. I've even seen my colleague Muslim that say, yes, if I show you the full anis, you'll be surprised. He said, yes, I've seen it. I'll give you something small. Even though it wasn't that much, I really appreciated it because he has seen something positively. Because touching life doesn't come with discrimination at all. People are going through a whole lot of challenges. If you go to our website, you see some of the pictures. And on top of a water lake, on top of being walking in a river to get to the next town, there are a whole lot of things that is happening. And these are places our leaders ignore. Well, I don't blame them because they are distant from even the district. Hardly will you even see them going there. Hardly will you see them going. They don't. There are areas they don't go at all. There are areas they don't touch at all. They use the assemblymen, and you go there, and at the age of 12, when at the age of 12 somebody has a child, at the age of 16 and 18 they have three.
Wow. 18 years.
Yes, that is Ghana for you.
Wow.
You see kids all around, just giving them anyhow. So touching life, we really go far to touch lives and put smiles on people's face. At least that is one of the mandates that the Lord has given unto us. And we are not giving up, we are still on it. Sometimes the support aspect, but whatever it is, we still God always sees us through, and He always encourages us. So basically that is what we do.
Wow. Wow. That has been a very, very touching, let me put it that way, a touching narration from Pastor Dr. William Kwabno Wusu on his outreach ministry and what they are doing. And I mean, some of these things are really, really true. Sometimes you sit in Accra or Kumasi, or you are in Tokyo, Saitama, Osaka, you are in London, you are somewhere within New York, or you are in Melbourne,
Mhm.
or somewhere in Canada, and you feel like, yeah, everybody, some people are suffering. Some people are suffering.
They are.
Imagine a community where pastor is saying that the only school level there is up to class 2 or class 1, and there are people there. There are kids who are unfortunate to find themselves being born by parents living there. And I mean, opportunities there are limited. There are communities that he says that a vehicle goes there once in a week. There's an example of a case that who said that I haven't eaten rice in my entire life before. The rice that we are sitting here in Japan in convenience shop is sitting here, nobody is even buying it. We are tired of eating rice. Somebody in his or her entire life, he hasn't eaten rice before. This is how serious the situation is in Africa. I believe that going forward, we will have to work hand in hand extensively in close collaboration with Dr. Pastor William Kwabena who and his outreach, and we see how we can also use our platform to get more influence and get people to get involved in bettering the life of, these people who are living in those remote areas in abject conditions that are not too good. But that's where we draw the curtains down on today's program. I believe that you've been watching us live on our platform. It's been a very long time since we came to you live. Today we've done that, and the two distinguished personalities who have been here with me are Alhaji Hassan, who has been the first black man to drive taxi in Japan and has used his fame or status to touch lives in a lot of positive ways. He brought his perspective on the sort of religious tension that has been blowing in Ghana for the past couple of weeks or so, and the intervention that has been made. He's also brought his perspectives on the relevance of religion in 2026 in terms of African development. Dr. Pastor William Kwabena, who has also been speaking about his outreach, he also gave us his perspective on this matter, this particular issue about religion and national development. They've been
Hello, Baba.
Hello.
Pacho, good evening.
Oh, fine evening.
Ajo bi aboko.
Oh, Bibia Nyamina Adom Yegudo.
Yeah, the Nyankopon ase. Na ye the Nyame ase ye hia wo African Home Touch ha.
Okay.
Na dey na do ba ha.
What taste na? Wolenyim. Dem taste rin ye wo bibia deda ha. Nseja. What's ohia suma better na ronko. Nsimaba.
Te aduane no na atwetwe wa ba yi. Na nti baba nti dey na wudi e na yi.
And emutuo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Na
Emutuo na nkasenkwan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Osimi clean.
Clean.
Clean. No two ways.
No two ways.
Yeah.
Okay, nti bajo dey na wo ka che ye nuanom Ghana for Africans any obi bia or Japan ha.
Okay. Anyone here in Japan who wants to have a real feeling of a home food, the person should try this shop.
Okay.
Because anything you touch here is like gold.
Okay.
The food is clean, everything is clean, and the atmosphere is home atmosphere. So this is a place where you never feel aligned or something. You're always in a family.
Yo, yeah, da papa si bebre ni o kan nyina ne se twaweni ebehwe hanom African Home Touch ewo Rupongi ha. Adwumadie no ekoso kwese da twato obusum bia mu ye amutuo special. Ezanze ye amutuo special nti amutuo a ye twagu mu wa ha no. Ubedi bi dakura a wo beba. But apart from Sundays, African Home Touch operate from Monday to Saturday. Omuno Ghana any bibi memu aduane ahodo bia. Nti ye besre ye nyina yemra na yemra medidi na empanyimfo ye se ye di ba ho ebue adwene mu. Bedi aduane pa na wadwe mu mie na fatena kro yi mu aha na dwumadi nyina nkɔ so ti yɛbɛsɛ mu nyina momra waache wa ha emutuo fufuo gobe jollof wom ampesie wɔ hɔ bibie bi wɔ ha enti me ba cho bra ha acheke o bibie bi wɔ ha enwum ye krom nwum nso twagu wɔ ha bebre enti yɛbɛsɛ mu